Ask a chemist. Beryl Baker's teacher asked her 6th grade students to do a career report for an assignment. Beryl decided to do her report on a chemist's career. To really find out what chemists do, she made an appointment to talk with Angelica Stacy, professor of chemistry at the University of California at Berkeley, on February 9, 1999. Beryl had this interview with Professor Stacy. We are studying mixtures and solutions in our class. My teacher said people who work with mixtures and solutions are called chemists. What does it mean to be a chemist, and what does a chemist do? That's a good question. Chemists do study mixtures and solutions, but they also study all other forms of matter, including gases and solids. We study their properties and try to find out why they do what they do. We then use that information to make new things. Chemists make many of the things around you: the material of your jacket, the dye in your jeans, medicines, plastics, and lots more. Why do you like chemistry? It's more that I like science, and chemistry is one piece of science. For me, chemistry is a way of thinking about the world and contributing to society at the same time. How long did you go to college to learn about chemistry? 4 years of college as an undergraduate to get my bachelor's degree, and then 4 years of graduate work to get the advanced degree so I could become a professor. In my case, it took 8 years of college-level study. Do all chemists work at colleges or universities? No. There is a big chemical industry worldwide. One industry that you probably know about is the drug companies that create and manufacture drugs to fight disease, relieve pain, treat injuries, and so on. Lots of chemists work in this industry. Chemists work in the food industry, enriching and preserving the things we eat. Agriculture depends on chemistry. All those things in the bathroom were developed by chemists: soaps and detergents, cleansers, stain removers, shampoo, hair color, mouthwash, deodorant, toothpaste. Chemists are at work in many industries and government agencies. Does everybody who studies chemistry become a chemist? People may use their understanding of chemistry to launch into other interesting professions. One chemist I know is now a multimedia designer. His chemistry training prepared his mind for the demanding work of creating computer programs that help students learn about science subjects in interesting and fun ways. Others might move into university administration, law enforcement, government work, medicine, or business. And many students who start in chemistry move on to other fields of science and engineering because chemistry is recognized as the basic science. Knowledge of matter and its fundamental behaviors is a good place to start with any career in science. What tools and instruments do you use when you are doing your chemistry work? We use lots of different instruments to help us find out what things are made of and how they are put together. As it turns out, some of our most important tools use light to give us information. The way different wavelengths of light are absorbed, reflected, or changed by chemicals tells us a lot about their structure. Separation techniques are important too. You undoubtedly used evaporation as a way to separate a solvent from a solute in your study of mixtures and solutions. You may have used chromatography to separate the pigments in inks. We do the same kinds of things when we are confronted with complex mixtures of chemicals. This part of chemistry is called analysis, finding and identifying all the parts in mixtures. Have you invented or discovered anything? My specialty is materials. I was investigating superconductors. Superconductors conduct electricity without resistance. But now I have turned my attention to trying to develop a new kind of refrigerator. Most refrigerators today use a gas called Freon. But there's a problem with Freon. It damages the ozone layer in the atmosphere, so Freon is being phased out. I'm trying to develop a solid refrigerant. When you run electricity through it, it gets hot on one end and cold on the other. Right now it's only 10% efficient. Your Freon refrigerator is 30% efficient. The material must get 3 times better to be useful on a broad scale. This is what I am trying to discover in my lab. But breakthroughs don't come easily. Discovery is hard work. What are the most interesting things you get to do? Teaching is one. My refrigeration research with graduate students is a kind of high-level teaching. I also teach basic chemistry for undergraduates, and I'm developing new ways to teach chemistry at the high school level. Another interesting part of my work is sharing ideas with other chemists all over the world. I have friends and colleagues in many countries as a result of my work in chemistry. Is there anything else you would like to say to 5th and 6th graders about chemistry? There are lots of opportunities in chemistry and in science generally. Whatever your interests are, knowledge of science can be part of your plans. I'd like to remind girls particularly not to be intimidated by science. In science, you have the opportunity to find things out that might help to solve problems like my work in refrigeration or disease control, food production, or lots of other things. It's a good feeling to contribute to the knowledge of the world.